All right. I think. All right, all right. I think that this is probably going to be like probably best case scenario. Um, I went through and updated a couple of the settings and everything, so I think this will probably give us like the best um, view per se. I'm going to kind of go through real quick and just check the quality before I get like really, really underway here. Um, Also some things I need to do on my old video in terms of tags and stuff like that. So we'll go through and clean that up later. But for now, let's just make sure that this stream is coming through clean and it looks good. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Let me know if there's anything else you guys think that need be done to like kind of help with everything. My GPU still has a lot that it can take right now. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. So as promised, we are going to do a VOD review. Um, Especially from the Volibear game from last night. I think it's good to wait like a day or two before you do your VOD reviews. I think it helps you kind of get in a headspace where you're not going to be as tilted and everything. So what I can do here is I can just move my camera over a little bit and we'll start going through these. So let's take a look. And I know that I've brought up this tool before, but I really do think that it's a great tool and like worth using. But this is Replace.io. It's an AI. It records your games when you play, and then it highlights different areas where things happen, and pulls it out and kind of extrapolates it, makes it easy. Okay, so let's like watch this game. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna turn down the volume on the game at least a little bit, and I'm gonna full screen it. Okay, so let's speed up here. See, now the nice thing is I can't move the camera around, but what it's doing is it's showing everything from my perspective, you know? So it's kind of nice, just because that way. Okay, so let's see how kind of this game is going right now. All right, I'm just gonna read through some of the stuff here. I can also hit tab and see the scoreboard. Alright, so we start the lane, and we get like a decent trade, but I'm not sure if this is like the best thing to do. I mean, I take a little bit of minion aggro there, probably more than I wanted to, and I end up using... Okay, so first mistake I make here is honestly, I should be standing higher up, and I should be using my legs that have already shot off in order to collect CS. By using this back leg and using this leg, I now have less threat if I even land an E because I've gotten rid of my most important damaging abilities in the early game, which is not my E, it's actually my legs. Um, so that's just lazy. Like that's a mistake that I shouldn't be making. Just keep watching here. Okay, we're not missing a ton of CS. Canceling an auto there. That's a little frustrating. Now that Volibear has his passive, I really don't want him to be able to like auto this wave a bunch. Otherwise, it's going to get really annoying for me. I can drop aggro into the bush. I can pressure him off a little bit there. But I do end up using my E, which is a little bit of a bummer. Honestly, I think so. If we're being completely honest here, I think I made two mistakes here. First is that I used my legs. The second is that like if I go back 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe even to right here. So when I'm right here, honestly, I should give him space, in my opinion, to come up and collect like 1 or 2 CS with his passive active, because if I let him come up, he thins this wave out, and then I can more effectively do a third wave crash. Right now I'm pressuring too hard, and because I'm pressuring too hard, I honestly mess up my plan, which was to do a third wave crash in this game. Alright, so let's go forward a little bit. Right, we get this wave in. It is what it is. I think I thought maybe I'll back, but then I decided against it. And then I don't know if I committed to try and do a third wave crash here, or my attitude was I'm gonna let this like just push out. I don't remember. Okay, he ghosts here. I run back. Now, I don't know overall if this is worth. He misses cannon and uses his ghost. I don't miss cannon. I mean, I miss XP, but so does he. Then he fights me in this wave. See, here's the tricky part. There's a world where I pull the trigger. Actually, what I want to know is, I need to close this real quick. He has like 248 health, and then I have my E and my W. I have my legs up. There is a world here where I flash EW and kill this Volibear, and then TP back and hold a freeze. Maybe my mistake there is that I didn't pull the trigger. I come up, I clear this wave. Yeah, honestly, I think that's a big mistake because he's got a pot running, and he's gonna be healthier than me. I mean, we know he used Ghost, and then I think it's very clear the mistake I made here, right? So the mistake I make here is this wave is crashing. I'm greeting to poke him because I don't think he can kill me, and I'm like, my E isn't even off cooldown. If my E was off cooldown and I knew I could buffer the CC, I think this would be very different, but it's not off cooldown. So I'm quite literally just trolling this. Because if we trade and he Qs me, but then I flip him, I'm pretty sure he dies to tower, and I can flash out and then W, and when he's running into me, he dies. But yeah, I I, I think when I'm selecting the answer here, I'm gonna say that I misplayed, like really really hard misplayed. Um, Now let's skip forward a little bit, or maybe just speed up our gameplay here. We get call, we come back, we miss 1 minion worth of XP. It's not the end of the world, you know. We farm under tower best we can, whatever. Get this out. I think this ward is stupid. Um, I don't know why I warded this. I mean, I warded, I guess, because I was thinking like, oh, Folly's there, I can stop his back. But realistically, like, am I really gonna stop his back? Probably not. And I knew that because Lee's pathing bot to top, or top to bot rather, and then I also saw Skarner path top to bot. That Skarner is about to back because he just died, and he's going to come topside, and I wasted my ward on a lane bush. Ay, ay, ay. I'm just not paying attention to the map. Now, granted, it's like my first ranked game of the day, but that doesn't make it any better. Like, alright, we miss our Q. His E is down. I should have just expected and kind of accepted the fact that this was going to be like just a farm lane. As soon as, okay, so I think I know what my mistake is. As soon as I clear this, and that's into tower, I should be just, I should be walking out immediately. I should just be walking out. I don't need to do this. Realistically, and I've said this to other people when I've coached them, I'm just not practicing what I preach right now. Like, am I going to kill this guy? No, I'm not. So this is just stupid. Like, all I'm doing is just wasting my time, and I die for it, right? Because realistically, if I'm up here, further up the lane when this gank happens, then maybe I live. So, I'm gonna say didn't expect jungler because I wasn't paying attention. All right, so let's keep playing this out. This is pretty good though. Overall, we're in the first 5 minutes of the game. We've seen a lot of issues. All right, so I E forward to get the Q. I get the assist, and then I missed 1 minion worth of XP. I still got cannon. Pretty happy with that overall. Because looking back on it, I mean, some people might say like, oh, you know, is this No, I didn't use TP, so yeah, that was just me walking back to lane. I couldn't remember if I used TP or there. Um, so I think the right thing to do is, in this instance, is just fall back and reset, you know? I can go by. I know the wave's bouncing back out. Now, I guess I also could have stayed in lane longer for like a better purchase. This is another instance where like I'm walking up to trade with this guy and I mean, if I hit tab or if I look at the items like I mean he's 3 and 1, right? And I don't have healing cut and he's got a refillable. So like I'm just not going to kill him. I was playing this lane so aggressive, and maybe it's because it was like my first time live streaming. I was like, I want to crush this Valley-Bear, but all in all, yeah, like just a very much underestimated damage. Alright, so we'll go over the first 15 minutes of this game, and then we'll go over the next 15 minutes of the next. See, this is really bad because I miss all of this farm. Um, I do think going around here is a nice little trick. I do this a lot where I'll walk around and go through the jungle. I mean, this is warded, but he's gonna see, it's gonna take time for him to see me and react here, and it's a lot easier for me to get across here than it is to get across here. So by doing this, unless he's dragging the wave and standing like right here, um, I actually am able to like make it back to lane and get all of this XP. This Volibear is playing very, very well though. The only downside to that is I miss actually a lot of minions off of that. I, it's kind of selfish to say, but like these kills didn't really do a lot on like. I mean, Lee Sin is very good at getting kills early, but it's like that gold would have been a very big deal to me to like equalize and come back in the game. All right, so here once again playing with fire. Should have just stayed completely healthy. Should have waited for him to make a mistake. Underestimated damage. But let's go back and watch that one again actually because like I want to see specifically how it played out. Okay, so it played out. The first mistake I make is so I'm behind, right? It's very clear I'm behind. I'm level 7, he's level 8, he has more gold, I have less gold. And rather than like I mean, I have to E there, I think, to block the damage. But I don't have to E there. Yeah. I could have E'd backwards to block the damage rather than in, because giving him that initial short trade then allows him to dive me. And I know he wants to dive me because I mean, because he's playing Volibear, right? Alright, so let's speed this up again. It is crazy how fast I lost tower this game. I got absolutely smacked. I mean, I'm not worth a lot of gold right now, so I'm just trying to explore the jungle and make sure that they're not. Okay, let's talk about this TP. This is interesting. Um, so I remember what happened here. And let's see if it's actually a good TP or if I just played it wrong. Not gonna lie, this seems like a really good TP at the time to me. So I go down here, we get a kill. We know Ahri's there. I engage on the Ahri. I mean, it's just unlucky that, like, Ezreal misses his stuff there. If he lands those abilities, then we definitely kill. Here, I'm getting completely baited. So, like, this is something that, like, I'm, like, I guess it's not assist pings, it's on the way pings. But, like, because he's saying on the way, I'm like, okay, I should be baiting this in. And by baiting it in, I just get absolutely rolled. Dying 1v1, that is why I'm down in CS at this point. The neutral fight, I'm gonna say poor focus because there is a chance that like if I go all the way back to here, I do want to see how low this Nautilus is. I don't think this Nautilus is really low enough for me to kill. I mean, maybe there's a Flash E here, but that would be like the Flash E of all Flash E's, and he's spacing really well. Um, yeah, I still agree with like I agree with like my initial play, or maybe I should have just stayed down without like hard trigger pulling. But with the Ari being alone, I think that was probably my biggest mistake. Is that like I could have waited. I could have waited and we could have fought this as a 4v3. Yeah. Because I'm not going back top anyways, right? In this instance. All right, solo death. More of just more of just underestimated damage and disrespected him pretty much. This is crazy to me though. This fight is like 4 seconds long and this guy got 2 E's. That's wild. Alright. Alright. So now what? Now where are we at? I don't think anything else happens before 15 minutes. I like looking at 15 minutes because, especially in like higher elo games, but same in lower elo games, like you can find a lot of stuff you did wrong and that you can fix just in the first 15 minutes of your game. And until you've like got the first 15 minutes down, worrying about the rest is like not that important. I'm more confident in my late game macro than I am my like individual laning. Okay, so if we're thinking about it right now, the key takeaways from this game is too much pressure, right? Like I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and looking for like the E angles and everything, even when there's no like opportunity to kill. Because I'm not level 9, I don't have my Black Cleaver, I'm behind in levels, I'm behind in CS, I don't have healing cut for his W, I didn't take Ignite. Like, I'm just over-forcing. I'm over-forcing the play. And because of that, like, I'm inting. You know, like it if somebody were to pull up this game and be like, "Oh yeah, dude, you inted," like they're not far off. So, that's the first thing. Um But I'm not really sure if, well, I guess the other thing would be tracking cooldowns. And more so for myself because it's like I wasn't tracking my own cooldowns, which led to some of my mistakes because I was like, oh, I'll just E out, but then I didn't have my E, right? So I kind of shot myself in the foot. Um, those are definitely the key things in this game. It's too aggressive. I need to give space to breathe, and I also think I made a bit of a mistake probably in the matchup in general. I think if I'm gonna take PTA into Volibear, I need to take Ignite because what good does the burst damage do if he's got his W and I'm not cutting his healing, you know? Um, Now obviously I need to drop it after his E, but yeah, I definitely didn't analyze and or play this correctly. Okay, so that's that one. I'm not really that interested in looking at the Aatrox one. I mean, I won, but that's not the point. The reason I'm not really interested in this one is because I know exactly like where I made my mistake. I made my mistake quite literally right here at like 12 minutes. That was the first mistake I made, and it was that I thought I could outplay him, you know, and quite literally like the issue is that I missed my E. You know, he did E it, but I should have been paying attention to the fact that his E wasn't up, you know, or that his E wasn't down in that fight. So, yep, that's pretty much it here. Not much else to go over for the first 15 minutes. This is very interesting, this Trundle one. Alright, so let's speed this up. Kind of see how this game goes. Whoa, I didn't realize I could go to 16. It's kind of a crazy amount to speed up the game. Alright, so let's watch how this plays out. I was happy with how this lane started. Okay, so the first problem I'm making here is just like being bad. Quite literally being bad because there's no excuse for like this. I should put on target champions only, or I should be like, when I do that, like I don't need to click again, and I would have gotten that auto off sooner. That's fine. So like I get my PTA proc, he doesn't. We both burn our pots, that's fine. I'm gonna get level 2 here first, which is the most important thing. So like I'm just trying to pressure him at this point. Now I don't know if I have enough kill pressure here to like execute him. But considering that he has flash, I don't think it would be like a terrible idea to give it a shot. At least to burn his ghost. But what I'm thinking about is setting up like a third wave crash and dive more realistically. So like here, he just got 2, so we know he's not going to get like a bunch of like just health out of nowhere. But we also don't want to like into kill, because I don't know if he has his E. I don't know what exactly he has. He does heal a lot off of when minions die. We don't take our recall here. This is the difficult thing about the Trundle matchup in general, I think, is that like you can see how much health he's getting back just from like just collecting minions, right? Now here, quite honestly, my problem is that like I think I just have to let him have this wave and stop trying to poke him and stop playing so far up. Like I need to give, this is the same exact story with the Volibear, right? The same exact story with the Volibear. I'm not giving this guy any space to play up. And because I'm not giving him any space to play up, I'm not giving him the opportunity to make a mistake where I can punish. Rather, I'm the one playing up just over and over and over and over, and I'm exuding all of this pressure, but the pressure doesn't do anything because I'm the one who's going to make all the mistakes. Especially when I know that the timer's around like 320, which is when junglers finish their first clear, and I also waste my E. And then I start shoving the lane again. Like, this is just dumb. This is not smart, like, League of Legends. So I back, and I back because I've got, like, my call, and I can get refillable. But it's not really a good back. And the reason, so let's go back a little bit, and let's talk about this. So, why is this back for the call stupid? And I can say that now, because I'm looking, you know, back at my game retroactively. This back for the call is very stupid. And the reason it's stupid is because I'm going to use my TP. I know the jungler is still topside. This mark is going to disappear. I know Kindred path to top. And then there's 3 stacked minions here. So the wave is pushing towards him. So I'm using all of my resources to go get a call to then TP to then try and have to run out here and fix this wave state when the jungler's topside. I'm pretty much asking to die here. I just wasn't thinking far enough ahead. Alright, so let's watch how this plays out. I mean, I know how it plays out. You know, we do that, we TP back. In the moment, I thought this was a good idea too. But like, this is what I was talking about earlier, kind of last night, where it's like I feel like my understanding of the game is there, but my application sometimes is just atrocious. So I ward there, that's great. We're zoning him a little bit. I have to like, I have to be smarter about knowing that this is a bait, right? Like, why would this guy E, and like why would this guy go in here? Now, like, I'm just reacting to what I see, right? So, like, him running into me here, I'm like, oh, I'll fight this. This is, you know, this is great. And then as soon as Kindred shows up, I flash. But the thing is, it's like, it's too late now. I may already, I may have died here either way. But the bigger problem isn't like, oh, the fight was close or, like, misplayed or whatever else. It's that I didn't expect the jungler. I made a bad TP call. And then, like, you know, inted. Because here's the thing, it's like, if I die here, it's not as bad if I can just TP back to lane immediately, and Trundle's super low and Trundle has to leave and then he has to TP back at the same time. You know. Now luckily, I think I miss, so I only miss like 3 minions worth of XP, but still, it's not ideal. I think that was one of the problems for sure. Right. So we're just going through this. We're slow pushing this out, that's fine. Slow pushing this out, slow pushing this out. I have my ultimate. I'm really, you know, fine to kind of play somewhat aggressive right now. I'm going to reset. Kindred's topside again. See, now this really got me. I need to watch this because I was like baffled. Okay, so he leads with his Q. Yeah, this guy just did not know how to play Lee Sin. If you're Lee Sin in this instance, like as someone who mained Lee Sin for a long time, you W in here. You W in here to give me a shield so that you can then auto and then E and then apply your slow and then you use your Q. Your Q is not your primary engage if you're in range to like W to a teammate. It's your strongest ability in terms of damage to execute. Yeah, and we just get wiped there. I shouldn't be typing to him though. Um, it's just worse team, poor focus. I'm gonna say poor focus. So at this point, like my lane is a little lost. Um, he's definitely stronger than me. He's ahead in CS, everything else. I really gotta work on not missing minions though. It's a very big problem that I have on Urgot where like this is also just like a really foolish back. Like I want to get off the map, but I have no way back here. And also, had I left here, I give him another plate. So like I think something I'm learning from watching this game is I have a really bad habit where like I've learned when to reset. So now every time I see a reset window, I just do it. And it's like, okay, just because you can reset doesn't mean you should reset. Sometimes it's better to stay out for a little bit so that way then you can actually get more XP and gold and get a better reset. So that's something I definitely need to start working on. It's all the little things that like make a big difference in Diamond when you're climbing to Masters from like what I've been told and like some forums on Reddit I've asked questions and whatnot. It's like it's just the consistency in your play to the point where like you don't make these small mistakes like missing CS, like messing up your resets, etc. I like this fight a lot. It is really shame that Taric got the kill on the Kindred. Um, I kind of want to watch this fight again and see if maybe it could have played out differently. I mean, I ult the Trundle here, which is fine. And, yeah, and he's just whacking away at him. All he had to do was just hold his auto. I liked this Taric a lot, but that was not great. Our Lee Sin and our Jinx were definitely our weak links this game. That's okay, that happens. This is a really great play. A really great play by this Taric. I don't feel bad about the fact that I used my Flash E here, and I'm very happy with the fact that like I saved it for when we knew his W was down and when we knew he had used his E. That was huge. That pretty much put me like back in the game. That was a crazy play by that guy. Um, it's still wild how far down in gold I am though. this point, I have to imagine that I'm down quite a bit. That is the one downside on this app, is you can't really see like the gold amount. I think you can only see the amount of gold that you've spent. So like these are his items total cost, and then like when I back and buy here, I'm pretty sure it updates the gold. Let's see. Does it? Yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah, so like now we're in even strength. It's very interesting to kind of see like the difference, you know, in gold actually spent in terms of power level and everything. Um, but I don't think there's that much more to go through the 15 minutes of this game. Now, my plan is to start doing these kind of VOD reviews post stream Saturday mornings. So Friday nights we'll play some ranked games. We'll save the recordings and then we'll just go through them and talk about them, you know, and do a VOD review stream. Now, things for me to take away. So applying too much pressure, right? I need to play back. I need to slow down my pushes. I need to track the jungle. And yeah, I think if I do those three things, my laning will get a lot better. But I know that this is a bit of a shorter stream, guys, but I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one.